I want to say thank you to all the participants, all the knowledge keepers that came here and gave freely of their time and their stories, their willingness to share. Because without them, you wouldn't be here. Without the stories they carry from their elders, sitting here listening to Clark talking, listening to Aggie Baby talking, looking at Danny here, Danny Christmas, Daryl Bernard, Austin, all these guys from my community. Clark's mother was my girlfriend. Serious. She was my girlfriend. She was only this high, but she made me work like a dog. But I learned the stories from these people. Daryl's mother imparted so much knowledge to me. Danny's mother, holy mackerel, the patience she's had with me. I can only imagine, you know. But, you know, again, the unconditional love of a grandparent, a mother, that's what they resonated to me. Although I wasn't part of their bloodline, I was welcomed into their family with open arms. You know, I look at Joe B. over here now, and his parents, I knew them well too because I knew their stories, I heard them, and I watched the old man playing cards every Sunday over my grandmother's house. Because that's what they would do, that's where they would gather. And those are the stories I share. And when I think about who we are as Ulnu, every one of these presenters that came here so far that I understand are damaged or broken inside. And they're looking for their healing. And they found their healing within from the stories that they carry. Because the lessons of life were in them stories about, well, what do you do to find love? How do you express it? Where do we go to? Look at your grandparents. Look at somebody else's grandparents. Look in the mirror. The hardest person to say I love you to is yourself. And mean it. I did a presentation. I'm an elder in residence at Acadia University, and there was two guys from the north. And I asked them about the lemmings, if they knew about the lemmings. And they talked and said yes. I said, do you know that the lemmings will go over a cliff in droves by the thousand? Thousands upon thousands of lemmings commit suicide. And that's a sad reality for our people today. We have the highest suicide rate in the country. What do we do to change that? This truth and reconciliation is part of the program that we have to look at. So I told them my story. I said, I want to be the salmon. And they said, why? The salmon is born in a particular river, spends part of its life there, and then it ventures off to the ocean till it matures. And when it matures, it makes its way back to the river, overcoming great obstacles, whether they be waterfalls, rapids, fishermen, boats, nets, coming against the current of the Gulf Stream, going against the current of the river. It's like going against the current of the government, like going against the current of education. Those are the challenges. We have to challenge openly the educational system to have our stories told, to have them documented as living history, because that's what it is. It's just as valid as what written history is about. I'd rather listen to oral history than the written account. Primarily due to the fact that the written account is subject to translation to suit the needs of particular people. And the best analogy I can give you for that is what happened with King Henry VIII. After his third proposal to the Pope to have another annulment, because he wasn't able to produce a male heir to the throne, the Pope denied him that, so he formed his own church. He took the teachings of the church and suited them to his needs and created what is called the Church of England today. Well, that has to stop, that kind of attitude, I believe, because, you know, my friend here, Austin, has a story. Jeff carries stories. Daryl carries stories. My brother Blair, John. Everybody carries their own story. Stephen said at the onset, we have 2 ears, we have 2 eyes, 2 nostrils, and 1 mouth. Because we are looking out constantly. We're comparing what has happened in the past because of the stories we are told. And we are looking at the present so that we can make a better future for our children and our grandchildren. That's 7 generations forward thinking. And we have to continue down that path. And this institution, Chancellor, great work by bringing this course here. It opens the eyes of the world. You know, Aggie said it best. We're probably the most documented Native people in the world because we've had so much contact from, you know, the 1497 approximately with the Cabot landing. But prior to that, you look at the Vikings and what they're claiming now. You look at Paul Chesson and what he claimed with the Chinese. I'm not saying that any of that is not true, but the possibility is there. Our account of history is there. Our people carry these stories. We carry the knowledge of place names. Before this was Cape Breton, it was always known to us as Unama'ki. I was always looking for the Bates map. And I'm still looking for it. But it had definitive names that we put to various places in Nova Scotia. Why is it that our names have been erased? You're not erasing history because it's right here in front of you, and it was here from the onset of this course, and it's living, and it's alive, and it's vibrant, and it's beautiful. And we're going to continue down that road because we have these wonderful people to share all these stories with, and many more to come. And I just want to say thank you very much for the opportunity to have come here to speak again and to speak the first time. And I got to get some guys together to get the food in.